They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted. You know me. I did my research, watched as you became the soldier we needed you to be. Like the others, you were strong and swift and brave. A natural leader. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess?
Hello and welcome to Celeste Gen's Look Back At series. This is where we look at games from the past generation, well, current generation, and see why they're important today and why they were so successful. So today we're looking at Halo 3, which was released in September 25th, 2007. And the game was well received. It got about a 94 on Metacritic, which is pretty good. It's about 90%. And people really enjoyed the game. The single player was fleshed out. There was a lot of depth to it. There's a lot, well, depth in terms of story, not really gameplay. It's the same game, just shoot people in the face. It was a great payoff for the series. People really enjoyed the ending. Some more than others. Some people felt betrayed that Master Chief looked like he died, but really didn't. He was in a cryotube thing, and then the space aliens. The single player was probably the most hyped thing about the game because people really wanted to have an ending that paid off in terms of closure with the character, not, the flaccid Halo 2 ending, which was crap. Blatantly just crap. And Bungie admitted this, so don't get on my ass for it. But really, what people wanted to play was the multiplayer. Because after you're done single player, there's really nothing else you can do besides play single player again on Legendary. But Legendary was broken in terms of any difficulty whatsoever. It was just too hard. It didn't make any sense. Or you could play 4-player co-op online, which was a new novel idea because people really didn't do that. Especially back in 2007. So when you hop in multiplayer, there was a lot of cool modes you could do. You could play Forge, which was you floated around at the map and you pretty much customized every map. You could put vehicles in maps that didn't make sense that they had vehicles in it, like the pit. Or you could stack guns on top of each other, or you can make piles of grenades and blow those up. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It was this huge sandbox now that you could play with and mess around with the levels, which people really wanted because they wanted to make their own jumps and stuff in the level and do cool things with the vehicle physics, and now they had a way of doing it. Theater mode was robust. You could look at any point in the map and fly around and watch replays of your gameplay. You could watch from the other person's perspective. You could float around like an omniscient viewer, like a god. You could look at the textures really close. You could look at everything. And the game was praised for this because it was these features that made it unique from any other Halo game or really any other first-person shooter on the market at the time. So if we're going to look into the future for games like this, we have to look at what it did to make itself successful. Not only was it an interesting story and addicting multiplayer, but they also gave players choices. They gave people features for free that weren't super complicated, but were still pretty cool. There's this disturbing trend now of people having to pay for theater modes and stuff like that, when Bungie gave it away for free and did it better. One of the coolest features of Halo 3 that was introduced with Halo 3 was Bungie.net, and that was this crazy in-depth stat tracking. It took every game stats, it put it into a ratio, it showed you heat maps and stuff like that, stuff that other games are doing now, but you have to pay for in a subscription service. And if we really want games in the future, for multiplayer especially, to do well and to be more robust and to be more balanced and more fun and more engaging, we really do need to look at classic Halo 3. And I say classic because now it's 2012. This game came out 5 years ago, and now the community for that game has all but died. And really, when you go on now, it's just there's like 1,000 people, and it's kind of boring. But, you know, for a game to engage people in such a way that they can make their own game types, they can do stuff like machinima, like Red versus Blue, or they can go into an expanded universe and are engaged enough in the story to start reading novels and such. For a first-person shooter game, is quite novel in the sense of how it worked out. So I'm hoping that you guys can learn from what I'm saying, because it was kind of off the grid, but Halo 3 is important to this next generation. It may not look like it, especially with the new Halo games that have been coming out, but hopefully people can take Halo 3's success, look at it, not copy it per se, but look at the formula that they came up with, you know, give more for less, and copy that so that, well, I didn't say copy, but you know what I mean. So we can get better multiplayer games, because as it stands now, multiplayer games that are great and balanced are very hard to find. Not a dime a dozen, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see a game looked back at, in air quotes as you could say, please leave a comment in the description, in the bottom comment thing, the thing with you hit the buttons and you type the words, you click OK and then it shows up. Yeah, do that thing, do one of those, and you tell us what games you want to see. And if you want to see more of this kind of content, or if you want to see more of the stuff I do personally, or anyone on the site does, go to solastgen.com. It's a great site, and hope you enjoy. So this has been Grayson Evans with Solastgen, and I hope you enjoy. See ya!